Hi everyone.
Channel. We almost did that synchronised, didn't we?
Should we do it again? Let's do it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back.
No.
What?
This is silly. Don't leave this in.
Right, come on, what are we going to do?
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
So I paused between the two things.
Oh God, I'm not good at this.
Okay.
Well, I know, why don't you just let me say it?
Go on then.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
Right, so we popped into Midwest Moto and we came up with the idea really to have a look at the new Himalayan, specifically to give Suzie a go to see what it's like on the pillion position.
Doesn't feel it's like it's cushiony on my bottom so far.
We've actually come back, or we've come up here on the day that Royal Enfield have released the Guerilla 450.
Yes, which we were talking about last week. So actually the same engine as this bike, but in a more kind of
compact,
street-focused
street package.
So Sean was saying that it's a bit more like a
It's
hunter.
like a hunter on steroids, I think. Yeah, it's like it looks to me like the outline of a hunter.
So is this called yellow ribbon on this one as well?
No,
so you should have a look at it. Look on Royal Enfield
Yellow
website.
ribbon is
yellow
the colour.
ribbon, but they've also got blue lava, was it called, or blue something?
They fancy names,
which
aren't
is
they?
Blue and white. Look really good.
But what we're going to do today, I haven't actually ridden the Sherpa platform, so that's the engine, the 40 horsepower single that powers this bike and now the new Guerilla.
Haven't you?
I haven't ridden it yet.
What?
You haven't been on it.
I've actually been telling him to go out on it, and
I just haven't.
He just hasn't, because you haven't got affinity with this bike.
It's not really one of the Royal Enfields that I would probably be drawn towards. I like the classic looking ones. We did have a comparison video where we put this bike against the new CF. And there were people on both sides.
Yeah.
Somebody actually made quite a funny comment that it's a draw. There's 1.4 billion people supporting each bike, as in like India and China.
Wow.
That was actually quite funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. A lot of people said they like the look of the Himalayan, and I think that's true.
Yeah.
The Himalayan has got more of that retro style to it, whereas the CF's just out and out, futuristic. Same fuel tank, same power. Everything's quite similar, to be honest.
What's quite similar?
Between the CF and the Himalayan 450.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't ridden this bike. It's a bike that I think Royal Enfield needed to make, because having ridden the old 411, I rode the Scram ABR.
Way too industrial.
Yeah, it was kind of an old clattery engine design, which has got charm, but just needed refreshing. And so obviously the Sherpas come in, liquid cooled.
Isn't this really the old Himalayan, wasn't that really popular?
The old Himalayan was really popular because it was four grand. When this was released, you could buy new ones of those for £4,000, and you could accessorise it to the hilt. 25 horsepower, so you just basically plodded.
But wasn't it also one of the only small adventure bikes back then?
It had, yes, that's a great point.
So it had its own like little niche.
It kind of
Which it still
dominated
kinda
the
does.
market, didn't it? But now I think.
What other little adventure bikes was there before? Because I remember when Vosges came out, even that was like, oh, it's a small adventure bike, which there wasn't a lot of market for that.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know what adventure bikes were out when the first Himalayan came out.
No.
But if you consider the marketplace now, you've got this versus the CF 450, KTM 390, the BMW 310 GS, maybe even Honda's CRF 300 Rally, and then obviously the Triumph 400 Scrambler X, if that's the right way around, I don't know if it is. But the Himalayan doesn't have the sort of whole playing field to itself anymore. It's got to battle it out.
Maybe it didn't back then, maybe
Maybe it didn't back then. Someone tell us in the comments.
Looking for those deer's flies. I've got completely bare legs, so.
Yeah, somebody said don't be so scared of a little fly, but they're not here in the field.
Seeing the gnashes on that thing.
Yeah. So what we're going to do today is take out the Himalayan 450, have a little play on it. Suzie's going to come on the back, and really, I think there's been loads of reviews on the Himalayan 450. I may or may not do one, but I think it's just important to get you on the back of it and just see what you think about the pillion position. Yep. The grab handles, whether you'd want to come.
Whether I can do yoga
adventure
whilst you're riding along or not. That's always something to consider.
Yeah.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah,
I'm also not going to try it.
Yeah, we're not setting people up to do this.
I could try and do crow on here though. It's got the handlebars like the Kawasaki. Big handles for me to hold.
Would you want to try?
Yeah.
Okay, shall I hold the bike upright?
Oh my god, we're actually doing this. This is crazy. Thing is, I need, last time we did this, I used a stool to get on. Are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Now this is something you won't have seen.
This won't be in any other review. So I've got the front brake on and I'm holding the bike upright.
Come on.
Come on, Suze.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of.
Right, bear in mind.
Bit of a rounded throw.
Right, bear in mind that the Himalayan centre stand leans quite far over. So we kind of had to prop that up then when you were doing that.
Well done.
Because yeah, we lean right over on this bike.
Anyway, nothing went wrong, so...
Nothing went wrong, nobody died.
I won't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I haven't done crow for a long time because I've been ill. It's quite a strong pose, so I definitely didn't do that to the best of my ability, but
But there you go.
We'll go with that.
I couldn't do it and a lot of other people can do it, so well done. Right, let's go for a spin.
Yeah.
Right, everybody, we're out on the Himalayan 450. Now I have got Suze on the back, so we're going to take a little bit of a more leisurely pace today. My first thoughts are it's a really, really nice, comfortable place to be. Seats nice and cushioned, and the bars are nice and wide. Super nice riding position. It wasn't, for me, to be honest, that hard to get it off the centre stand. People say it's hard to get off the centre stand. I don't think it is. I mean, I think that it does lean over a lot, but the bike's not that heavy. And I've got almost a full tank of fuel in it at the moment. I didn't think it was that heavy. So I wouldn't let that be a deciding factor, how far the bike leans over. Anyway, Royal Enfield will probably end up putting a altered centre stand on there in future models. They'll probably upgrade it or do a swap out free of charge, knowing Royal Enfield. A little bit of engine brake in there because it's a single. I rolled off the throttle a little bit and just felt Suze bump into us. One thing I do like about it, and this is really important, is that I'm getting pretty clean airflow. And obviously on the other adventure bikes, they're kind of big, you sit in them, and therefore you get the screen's kind of up here in front of you and it's sort of blowing turbulent air into your helmet. This, because it's this little, almost like a fly screen, isn't it, just to protect the instrument cluster. It's way better. I'm getting way less buffeting. So that's quite a big deal for me, actually. But I can feel the turbulent air. It's like about here, because the screen's so low, the turbulence is lower. One thing I mentioned previously in the comparison video with the CF Moto was that the switchgear on the Himalayan is different to the rest of the Royal Enfield range. It's a little bit more industrial, and at ABR Festival there was actually a PowerPoint presentation on why they'd made the switchgear like this. It's less retro and more kind of functional and industrial, so there is a reason for it. It's plastic switchgear, which isn't really an issue on a bike like this. Kind of a functional thing, really. Now you do have non-adjustable levers, which is fine, I guess, because they're going to be covered by handguards. Somebody wrote in the comments and said the Royal Enfield handguards are going to be available for this bike by November 2024. So they are on their way, just a little bit delayed. But of course, being Royal Enfield, you can have loads of aftermarket accessories. You can have a taller screen, you can have a fully metal sump guard. You can have panniers for the bike. I'm sure you can get crash protection. It's a proper mini adventure bike, so you're going to be able to option it up to high heaven. Just drop into fifth. Now I'm really liking the screen. I did say in my comparison that CF is a little bit more of a futuristic take. It looks ultra modern, whereas Royal Enfield have kept some of the charm of the original Himalayan, which is pretty nice to see. You've almost got a digital cluster imitating an analog sweep of the needle. That's really cool. It just makes it a little bit more fancy, and I like the fact that it's a bright white background as well. I'm sure you can change it, but it just looks really nice to me. Got the shower there on the front forks. You can see the black machined aluminium shower there. That's really smart. And up front, yeah, everything just a nice riding position, really. I'm not quite sure on this in the tank, this cutout, but then again, it is an extremely sharp turning circle on the bike, so that's probably more of like a functional thing rather than something that's done for aesthetic purposes. It means you can turn the bike really easily. So as there's no one behind us, I'm just going to do the on-off throttle, just to see if there is any jerk at all. So slow right down, no one coming. So 7 miles an hour.
What's going on?
Just testing the throttle. So that's it, just chugging, using the torque. We're going up a little bit of an incline. Seems to be very little jerk. Seems really smooth to me. So fueling seems to be good. I mean, that is the test you really need to do on a bike when you test ride it, because otherwise, if you found out later, you'd be really annoyed if it's sort of jerking on and off. I talked about how the switchgear looked. It's actually really easy to use. It's really functional. You really know that whether it's on or off. Like with this indicator here, big sort of pan of the indicator. Everything just seems to be easy to use, be intuitive. Let's pull out of here. Gearbox slots into place nicely. I haven't really got any complaints. Take a left here, quick shoulder check. I'm going to go high in the revs now, in third, just to see if some vibes come through. I'm getting a bit in the bars, go a bit higher. Oh, it's actually, there's a spot around 6,000 in third. And then when you get past it, it smooths out again. So there is a little bit of a vibe spot. Yeah, maybe you can hear it. But I'll just change it. Susie's probably wondering how I'm doing. So think of this bike as sort of a, it's like a, well, that's what it is, isn't it? It's an upgrade to the original Himalayan. It's meant to be the bike that you can do things on that you couldn't do on the original 411 Himalayan. So if you're thinking of doing a big trip, perhaps with more motorway work, then the idea is that this bike has more of the legs to be able to do that than you could on the previous iteration, which I probably think it can. I mean, I'm not riding very fast now, obviously, because I've got Suzie on the back, but it feels like the engine's got significantly more punch. It feels less, that guy gave his two fingers up in a good way. It feels like it's got a lot more to give. And it feels smoother. Now, you've got to be careful because this is the first iteration of the platform. This is the first bike to feature the Himalayan 450 Sherpa engine. Sorry, I said Himalayan, I should say Himalayan. Himalayan. Try and get that into my head because people are going to complain in the comments. So yeah, will it have reliability problems? My gut feeling says no. Royal Enfield have just got this impeccable record. Like, think of the Super Meteor or even going back as far as the Interceptor. How many of those bikes do you ever hear with anything seriously wrong with them? I'm on forums and stuff. I don't hear anything wrong with the 650 Twins. Shotgun will be the same. They've just refined an existing package to make it even better. The Meteor and any J series bike, there's nothing really wrong with them. I know a guy who wrote in the comments recently, he's done 20,000 miles on his Meteor, done the servicing himself, basically just done the oil changes, and he said that it basically had been faultless. It commutes on it, used it in normal weathers. I know when mine came out, I know when the Meteor came out and I had my 350, there was a problem with rust on the collector box underneath the engine. And that's a nice duck egg land, really. And somebody had actually sent it back as a warranty claim. So what did Royal Enfield do? Of course, they replaced and redesigned the component. And now the collector box is actually not only rust proof, but it's smaller and lighter. I saw a post on the forum, some guy had chopped open the two with an angle grinder, and he could actually see how they'd improved the old versus the new. So if there is a fault, you can bet that Royal Enfield are going to address it pretty sharpish. So yes, I would have no problem believing that this bike's going to be reliable, and warranty, if you needed it, would be impeccable. Royal Enfield also have the dealers, the support, the fan base, the aftermarket, so there's a lot to kind of take into consideration when you buy a bike, not just the bike itself. And I think that that's something Royal Enfield really do. They care about the consumer, they care about the riders. That's my gut feeling on it. We've got a bike and a trike or some kind of little sports car. Just let them go past. Aerial Atom. Oh, they're in a little race, are they? Interesting. The bike wins, but I reckon the Aerial Atom will keep up on the bends. I'm not going to try and turn around here because the Suzie on the back. When I get to the flat, do a little turn and burn. I tell you what, this bike so suits my type of riding. It just plods along, no fuss, no complaints. Really enjoy it. Right, let's do a turn. Just going to turn around. Okay. How are you enjoying it so far?
Oh, yeah, really good.
It's actually not.
Beautiful.
It's nice, isn't it? This is my normal route.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing around here.
Do you want to have a look at? Oh, I could go further, but we don't have time, do we? There's the Himalayan's amazing turning circle. Look at that. That's such an underrated feature. Right, on you get. There we go. Pretty dangerous place to pull out. This is the church. Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it? That's where I film the videos. In there. Look. I'll take you in there just to show you. Suspension's nice over these bumps. See, it's nice, isn't it?
Wow. This is gorgeous.
It's lovely, yeah.
I mean, what a place to get married.
Wow, nice.
Didn't know the road there.
Come back from our test ride, and the first thing is I just thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a weird thing in my head about the Himalayan, that I wouldn't like it, and I just didn't want to ride it. It just didn't interest me. I don't know why. Maybe I just bought into this sort of online discourse that people are going back and forth on it, but I actually rode it, and it's like the BSA in the terms of the feeling of the engine. Obviously I didn't speed and zip about because I had Suzie on the back, but it's got that like long stroke, quite characterful engine. It's just magical. It's weird because they've obviously tried really hard to keep the old 411 DNA alive in the new 450, and yeah, it's liquid cooled, it's got the TFT display and so on and so forth, but it's kind of got that like pop, 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 pop feeling to it, which the Triumphs don't have because they're very high compression and revvy. So I just got on well with it. I mean, we were just having a nice time on this bike. It's
It was
comfortable.
such a lovely ride.
So when we stopped, you were just made up, weren't you?
Yeah, really, really lovely ride. I would say I don't think it sounds as good as the BSA though. You say it's got that thump, thump, thump. I don't get that.
I've got aftermarket exhaust on the BSA.
Well, whatever it is, it doesn't sound as good. And we're about to have a visitor, I think. Bo is coming to be in the video, the little dog here.
The dog loves getting in videos. Bless her. Pillion?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk pillioning? Or what's your overall thought on the bike? And I've got to not interrupt you because Nigel Cox said, if you ask the lady her opinion,
Yes.
allow her to speak. So Nigel's got your back.
Well, Nigel, thank you, but he has to do that, otherwise he doesn't get a word in a lot of the time.
Yeah,
I'm speaking up to the narrative there.
People shoot off the video if you're longer than like 15 minutes. So we're like constantly trying to move forward, aren't we, to cover everything.
I don't think that's right.
Maybe you should just stay here and just watch a bit longer, have a little bit more patience like everyone did.
All the good stuff's coming.
Yeah.
But I will say that I actually hear that in you sometimes, that you're rushing because you don't want people to get bored. So don't do that, because what you have to say is amazing.
Well, thanks very much.
And I listen to you a lot.
Would you want to say your piece?
Yeah,
I won't rush you.
So I really, really like that ride. So first of all, a lot of the time I'm not feeling well enough to come out on a ride. And when I do, I'm sort of pushing it a bit. Today I felt really good. So that was really nice. It's a beautiful day. Around here, it's gorgeous. I've not been on that. I know we didn't do the full route, but where Sean goes, there's a few routes
lovely.
He does.
Past the church.
Really pretty. And I just sat there. So I will just say firstly, before I go into what I thought about the pillion seat.
Yeah, overall bike forward sort of thing.
You ride beautifully with me on you.
That's very
me
kind
on the
of you
back,
to say,
me on
yeah.
you. Well, that's interesting
Don't
conversation.
go there. That could demonetise that video, wouldn't it?
We won't go into that.
Yeah.
But what I said is true in every way. But you are really, I feel really safe. You're really smooth. Yeah, you're really confident, and like everything you do is just, I'm just looking around, which is something that's really special for me because I love to be out in nature. And so you don't get the same when you drive around these lanes.
You're in the metal box, aren't you?
Yeah, it's something different. That's why I like convertibles. But so I love that. I didn't think I'd like the higher seat. So in general, I really like a bench seat.
What's that word again that you got right and I got wrong? Bench seats.
Yeah.
We know that now.
So I've got something in my eye. Yeah, I like a bench seat, which I didn't know. I was used to before sitting on sports bikes. So I thought, okay, the seat's a little bit higher. It's not super higher. And what I mean by higher is, you see how I'm higher than Sean?
The differential
So
between
he's down there
rider and
I'm
passenger,
up.
yeah.
Now, I don't normally like that because for some people ride differently. So this depends on it's all subjective, isn't it? But when I'm sat there, I don't use the handles, I hold Sean. And so if I'm higher than him, I feel like I'm lowering down. Whereas I actually like to be like properly behind Sean, and also wind buffets me if I'm behind Sean.
Yeah.
So if I'm really high up, I'm getting all that, and I'm sort of trying not to be around his shoulders and restrict him. I want to be around his waist. So it actually helps me to be on the same level because I'm smaller, because then I can be like right down.
Yeah, you're
Having
a lot shorter.
said that, this was fine. It was actually fine.
We didn't bang helmets. I think once
Didn't
when
bang
we pulled
helmet.
off,
I just felt, in a nice position. Seat's okay. So not as comfy. I'm like raving about the BSA
Suze loves
bench
the BSA.
seat.
That's the high bar, the gold standard.
But this was lovely. Really nice.
Did you use the grab
I did.
rail?
I had a go at that. Really nice position. So again, a lot of the time I'm a small rider. A lot of the time the grab rails are too far away. They're too far back. So often they're here rather than at the side.
Yeah.
Or they only give you like this much space, and I've got tiny hands and I still find it's not enough. These were brilliant. Really good.
What would you give the Suze rating? Suze score for the Himalayan.
The Himalayan.
I'll say
I don't know
Himalayan.
what this is. What's that for?
That's for the top box, yeah. So if you put something on the back, like a top box, you could rest.
That'd be better.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Although
have that.
you say that, but
Oh, your phone's
that's
ringing.
my phone.
We'll restart this after Suze's phone.
Okay, so before we were
20 minutes have passed. Sean's
it was
waited
a
in the field.
call, so
let
fair
her
enough.
off. Let her off.
Let me off. He's
Yeah.
not really letting me off. He's saying he is, so it's not harbouring resentment.
Harboring resentment.
We don't do that around here.
Right. what we need to do
So-
is give you a Suzie score.
Okay, well, I don't know about scores, but I really like it. I think the whole bike was nice.
The whole bike's lovely. Yeah.
I didn't like the sound. That's one thing I will say. I don't think I could hear anything, which I quite like to hear a bit of.
But bear in mind, I was short shifting. I was keeping it in fourth or sixth.
He was doing his smooth thing.
So we were smooth as hell.
Yeah.
I think if you opened it up a little bit, the
Yeah.
sound would be different.
But yeah, otherwise great. And what I was saying was, if you had a top box, you could lean back. The thing is, the downside with that is, and the downside with the seats often, those little backrests, is that they assume that somebody is going to lean all the way back. Because I hold on to Sean, anything behind me doesn't really work because it's too far away. So maybe then I would use the grab holds. Perhaps I would lean against the box and use the grab holds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 options.
So lots of options. Yeah, I thought it was comfy. Really surprised. So good work. And I love the gold wheels.
Whoa. Yeah, I know. We were going to come on to how it looks.
Look.
We've really come round to the Himalayan. I'll tell you some key points. The 21-inch front wheel is fine. That's really, really not a problem on the road.
Are you flat footing on it?
Yeah, I'm flat footing.
Good.
The suspension is very plush. It's not adjustable, but it's nice manufactured, high quality parts.
Yeah, I didn't feel like,
yeah,
you know,
perfect. Even when we went
bangy.
on that gravel, the rear shock's very clever and it's sort of transverse orientation or back to front with rising rate linkage. Obviously, you've
rising rate linkage.
Mark
Hello.
Mark
Got some rising rate linkage going on.
I just said that to sound clever.
I love it.
I actually know how it works. Mark in here,
You are clever.
he's basically an engineer, builds his own trikes and gearbox and everything. He tried to explain to me how it works, and I was like, huh?
All right, we'll just
I have
know
to go
the
and read
words.
about it. Someone write in the comments what rising rate linkage is. I just said it to sound clever, and you've
Well,
caught me out.
No, I haven't caught you out because you're still saying it's got it. That's cool. I don't know.
I don't know how it works.
All the words I say.
Something about how it compresses through the
You don't
movement.
need to know
in
how
the
it
shock.
works. It has it.
It has it, right?
We're impressed.
Yeah, we've admitted it. Most people just say something and they don't know. We've admitted we don't know. The steering, right, nice wide bars. The tank, it's got that like sculpted shape. 19 litres I think it is, or 17 litres. They've kept that sort of wing on the tank. They could have just ended the tank here and had that, but they've done this little design feature. I didn't like it to start with, but now I see how much steering you've got, how sharp the turning circle is. You can almost turn this bike round its own length.
Wow.
It's crazy.
But you're not in it like the MT, are you? So it'd be really interesting
You're
when
on
you review the 400
Yeah,
MT, 450 MT,
450 MT.
the CF moto. I'd be really interested to see. You need to do a comparison review riding them when you can get hold of one.
When you can get hold of one.
So if somebody wants to lend Sean their new 450 CF MT, or
which
Brilliant.
they may or may not want to, but if they do, we'll receive it. The one thing about being on the Himalayan is that the screen's lower, so you don't get buffeting and turbulence. Any bike that you're in and the screen's like sort of here in your eye line, that for me gets wind over the top, and I end
so
up
you're
getting
saying because you're higher,
and the screen's smaller. It's like a little fly screen.
you're not getting, yeah.
So I think the tyres are decent. The wheels we like because they're gold. The rear brake is particularly potent. I didn't test it like emergency stop test it because Susie's on the back, but
Please don't do that.
just dabbing it. Whoa, it's super bites, and apparently that's something to do with the bike's obviously an Indian company. The roads perhaps not as good. Grabbing a handful of front brake on rough terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, whatever the reason for it is, they use the back brake a lot in India.
You're going to end up on the road in the Himalayas
Himalayas, yeah.
if you're not careful.
Well, if you've got any questions about the Himalayan, then let me know and I'll try to do my best to answer them.
And I'll be watching the comments on this video as well. I'm trying to do that whenever I can. And thanks for all your kindness, everybody, and all your kind thoughts and words about me recovering. And it's really helping. So thanks. Thanks for having me on today.
Welcome.
And I hope that you found this useful.